Welcome to UKAI Business Show. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions, helping business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host, UKAI Kachidori.
Hi and welcome back. It's UKAI again, and I'm really pleased that you can tune in and get some nuggets from experts, people who are actually doing this stuff. Today I'm super excited because I'm joined on the show by Andrew Johnson, a good friend of mine from Scotland who helps business owners here in the UK and around the world, especially those who are getting started, on how to deal with either stress and how you can be in the present and increase your productivity. So today's interview, we entitled it, How Do You Get Started with Being in the Present? Andrew, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you, UKAI. It's an absolute pleasure.
Incredible. Now, if you're a business owner, you may be familiar with this feeling of you've got so many things to do. You're thinking about tomorrow. You're thinking about something that has not gone right, or you are stopping the fire from going all over the place. Now, you cannot be productive if you are in that place. It's only when you learn to manage yourself can you get so much done in a short space of time. That's why we've got Andrew here to show you how to do that. Now, Andrew, I know you're a well-known expert when it comes to stress management techniques, and we want to learn from you today.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Now, please, could you tell us a bit about yourself in terms of your background, education, and your experience in these stress management techniques we are going to be talking about?
Sure. Well, my core training is in clinical hypnotherapy, and I've been involved in that business for about 25 years now. And for anyone who hasn't had a session of hypnotherapy, it's very gentle and very easy, but it's very effective at helping people deal with issues in their life. But predominantly, it's a technique to help people into a deep state of relaxation. And when you start as a hypnotherapist, one of the great skills you'll learn is how to help someone who's anxious or stressed, in physical or emotional pain, how to help those people into a state of relaxation. So from that training, I started doing some corporate work, working with groups of people, helping them learn relaxation techniques, which they could then learn meditation and mindfulness from. And I, as a hypnotherapist and as a sort of corporate trainer, I had a selection of recordings, which in the last 10 years have been selling well as apps. So one-to-one sessions, group work with companies and charities of all sizes, teaching relaxation and coping skills, and recordings that are available for smartphones, which I think the most people have these days. I think we all live with smartphones in our pockets or in our hands.
Indeed. And you have had 11 million downloads of your recording where you are helping people cope with stress, overcome anxiety, or even break habits, which is truly remarkable.
No, thank you.
And you recently launched Holistro. Is that how you pronounce it? Talk to us about that.
Well, we've had a lot of single subject apps on sale for the last 10 years. Things that specifically deal with stopping smoking or positivity or helping people sleep. But one of the things we've always wanted to do is deal with some wider and deeper subjects. So for the last 2 years, my business partner and I have been building a subscription app, and it's called Holistro, which is a mixture of the words holistic and trio, because there are 3 parts to the business: helping people relax, change, and create. And the new app, Holistro, launched in the middle of January. So it's really only been 2 months that we've launched this new app, but it's getting some great reviews, and a lot of people are using it for a variety of different purposes.
Indeed. Indeed. Now let's jump on to the subject we wanted to. You help business owners living more in the present moment. Now,
Yes.
how do you go about doing this? Say, for example, a business owner is all over the place. They're struggling. They know they are not at the right place. How, what can they do first to get to that place where they are in the moment, they're centered, and they're thinking straight and getting things done?
Well, one of the things that many people do when they're under pressure is try to think their way out of a situation.
Right.
And when you're trying to think your way out of a situation, you are using the smallest part of your brain, which is the conscious mind. And opinions vary as to what percentage the conscious mind makes up of the mind, but it is a tiny part. And for many people, the only way to get back in control is to stop that ridiculous part of our mind trying to solve the problem and get back in touch with the most amazing computer that we have, which is the inner mind, the unconscious mind. And the way to do that is to use techniques for physical relaxation, which will quieten the mind, or use techniques for quietening the mind, which then go on to relax the physical body. And there are simple and gentle and easy techniques that anyone can learn that help that process. One of the problems that an awful lot of people have if they are running a business and keeping busy and working every hour in the day is that they feel they can't put time aside to slow down even for 10 or 15 minutes.
Right.
But in actual fact, for an awful lot of people who do that, they find out it's like rebooting your computer. Sometimes there are things going on. I'm sure that everyone listening to this will have had a time where their laptop or their desktop computer or even their smartphone just simply isn't working. It's overloaded, it's struggling, and sometimes the best thing to do is to switch it off, leave it for 5 minutes, and switch it back on again, and it gives it a new lease of life. Does that make sense? I think everyone has that.
Wow, it's incredible. You mentioned something very interesting there, that the conscious mind is the smallest part of your mind. Explain.
Yes. Well, the conscious mind is what we are focusing on at the moment, whether it's a bill that needs paid or a problem that we have. And the conscious mind sort of runs over the problem time and time again. And what it does is it also visits the past and thinks about times this has happened before, or it drifts off into the future and worries about what's going to happen if we don't solve the immediate problem that we have. And when we are spending time in the past and thinking about what's happened in the past, or we're projecting too far into the future, what we're losing is actually the only time that we're in control, and that's right here,
Right.
in the moment that we're thinking. And when you relax, and when you get back from that little part of your conscious mind back into your body by doing some breathing techniques and some grounding techniques, you then are able to access the resources that you already have. the parts of you that really know the solutions to problems, the parts of you that can really get back to reality, if that makes sense, where you start to see solutions to problems and you start to feel much more in control. And when you feel more in control, no matter what's happening, you start to feel that there is light at the end of the tunnel and you start to see solutions.
Wow, incredible. This is so revealing. Now let's talk about, the very first step a business owner needs to take for them to get into that center where they're in the moment. Maybe in
Sure.
physical, activity or.
Well, one of the simplest techniques is to just use deeper breathing.
Right.
Now, again, a lot of people look at these techniques and they read about them or they watch a video about them and they think, well, that is just too simple for it to work. But in actual fact, it's the way that the body needs to be used in order to slow things down. So, for example, what I would say to people is that they take a couple of minutes and they sit down with their feet flat on the floor and they put one hand on their stomach over the belly button and one hand over their chest on the heart, and they slow the breathing down. Close your eyes and just gently follow your breathing. Now, in actual fact, you don't need to do much more than that. Just following the breathing puts you back in touch with your body. It slows down the heart rate. It slows down the breathing. It makes you more aware of being in the moment. And it starts to quieten the mind and release tension in the muscles. And then, after 30 seconds or a minute or 10 minutes if you choose to, you can then open your eyes and you will feel recharged, rebooted, to use that computer analogy again. You will feel that you have a bit more clarity, a bit more creativity, a bit more certainty, a bit more positivity. And you will be able to see things from a different viewpoint. Many of us in business, and I include myself in this from time to time, can't see the solutions, even though there are simple solutions right there in front of us. I think most folk would understand that.
Indeed. Now, if someone gets stuck on this very first step,
Yes.
How can they get unstuck?
You mean if they can't relax?
Yes.
Or they can't do the breathing?
Getting themselves to a place of doing that, because they've never done it before.
Well, I think that the secret to success with this is not to try too hard. You see, the thing is, Yukai, that there are things that happen in the body that you can't make happen. You can't make yourself fall asleep. It just happens. You can't make yourself remember something that you're trying to remember. It just happens. And just like that, with relaxation and coming back to the moment, you can't make yourself do it. You've got to allow it to happen. So there is a little bit of a leap of faith until it happens. But I would suggest to people that if they try for a minute or two and allow it to happen, they will start to see little changes, and that's what people want. And it's nothing to do with the time you take. It's nothing to do with the depth of relaxation you reach. It's more just allowing yourself the space and the time, a short time to do it. So it's not something that is very clearly A or B. It's just simply a process that allows you to start getting back in control of your thoughts. So it's something that people need to do, or need to allow themselves to try a couple of times before they really start to notice a difference. But you see, the beautiful thing is, Yukai, that every human being is built exactly the same way. So these techniques work for everyone, no matter what sex, no matter what age, no matter what background, no matter what experience. It's a gentle process. And from that comes a greater clarity and a greater sense of how we control our own destiny, if that makes sense.
It does. Absolutely. It does. Now, at what stage would you have this experience? In the morning, during the daytime when it gets crazy, or at the end of the day? What's your recommendation?
Well, I would certainly, well, there are two ways to think about this. If you find that your mind is just running all over the place and you can't see solutions to problems, at that point I would suggest taking a couple of minutes just to sit and do the breathing exercise. But equally, if you are thinking of making this a practice, then it's nice to do as a preventative measure. So it's nice to do as you're falling asleep at night. It will help you sleep much better. It's nice to do if you have got 5 minutes in a traffic jam, or on the tube, or on a plane, or you're waiting for the phone to ring. I think one of the problems that an awful lot of people have these days is the fact that we're always connected. We have little boxes that we can carry about with ourselves that give us access to all the world's information and all the world's entertainment. And in the past, I think people had times that they just spent their time daydreaming or just thinking about things. And nowadays, we find ourselves with 10 minutes and we just open up our phone and start watching something or texting people. And it's really nice to spend those little nuggets of precious time just getting ourselves back into gentle stability and breathing and getting ourselves grounded and allow the mind to sort of calm down a little.
Indeed. Now, suppose we've gotten into this path. Is there any second step, or to really harness this, the art of getting back into the moment for business owners?
Well, yes, there is. The second step is to move from your breathing, to notice as you're breathing how the rest of your body feels. Now, this is called inhabiting the body, and what it does is it dilutes a lot of the conscious mind down into the body. It makes you aware of how your feet are and how your legs and your hands and your arms are. And what this does is that it brings you much, much more into the moment, and it gives you tremendous clarity to deal with what you're dealing with in that moment. Now, with a little practice, when you're sitting with your eyes closed and doing this, what you're able to do then is recreate that in everyday circumstances. So when you're in a conversation with someone, or when you're in a brainstorming meeting, or whether you're just trying to be creative, the ability to bring yourself back into your breathing and then feel the rest of your body gives you tremendous power. And it keeps you right in the moment and stops your mind drifting off from one thing to the other. Now, the way to do that is to simply notice how, when you're doing your breathing, notice how your hands feel. Do they feel heavy? Do they feel light? Do they feel cold? Do they feel warm? And there's no right or wrong. It's just about how they feel. And once you do that, you can keep your awareness there in your hands, and you can notice how your arms feel, and then your feet, and then your legs. And the more you do it, the more you're practicing and allowing your body to really become part of where you are in the moment, rather than it just being, you know how when you get really stressed out, that it seems as if all you are your thoughts, and your thoughts are playing tricks on you, and this really dilutes that and allows this incredible computer that we have to offer ourselves, to offer creativity and solutions. If you think about the great business people and the great creative people throughout history, Edison and Beethoven and Einstein and Henry Ford and countless others, they have always said that their greatest moments of inspiration or breakthrough was when they were relaxed, when they were allowing their mind to daydream, when they were taking part in an activity that took their conscious mind away. So when they were swimming or running or walking or meditating, and it's then that the computer is allowed to do the work.
Wow. Well, imagine the things you could do as a business owner if you can implement these strategies that Andrew is sharing with us. I highly encourage you to, download some of his materials that, 11 million other people have downloaded so far. Andrew, are there any tools that can help business owners, to get into this state of relaxation and being in the moment that you'd recommend?
Well, there a lot of the tools that I have, a lot of the apps that I have, spend the first 10 minutes helping people into that relaxed state. And the more you use it, the more it becomes a natural process. So it's like riding a bike. Relaxation is exactly the same, and so is mindfulness. It's about finding a technique that you enjoy, finding a simple technique that you can practice, not worrying that you can't do it quickly enough and allowing it to happen, and then just allowing your body to get used to it. And then after a while, and surprisingly quite quickly, you'll find that, like riding a bike, you're just doing it without thinking about it. It has become a natural process.
Right.
The person who has inspired me hugely in the last 10 years is an author called Eckhart Tolle. That's Eckhart, and second name Tolle, Tolle. And he wrote a massively popular selling book called The Power of Now. And if any of your subscribers or listeners or members are wanting to investigate being in the moment, that book, The Power of Now, can be transformational. So a combination of using that book or reading that book and listening to some simple relaxation techniques can help tremendously.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. We are coming toward the end of our time here together, Andrew. But is there anything else around this subject that you would want to leave with our audience before we come to an end?
Well, what I can say is that our best asset is our mind, with all the resources and all the skills and abilities and strengths that we have. Our worst enemy is our conscious mind in many ways. And when you can use the power of your unconscious mind to access feelings of optimism and confidence and positivity and resilience, when you can access the unconscious mind to help you sleep better, to break bad habits and create new habits, you will find that you have tremendous and almost unlimited power to create the type of life that you want to. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have to work hard, but what it means is that you're using the time you have for work much, much more efficiently. You're not being bothered by too many concerns about what could happen and what won't happen and what might happen in the future and what did happen in the past. It's all about being in the moment and being the best that you can be in this moment. And that can be hugely transformational. The mind is an incredible thing to be able to use.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. We certainly would love to have you back on the show, Andrew, in future, maybe to talk about other techniques of being in the moment or stress management, which is also one of your expertise, because we are getting a lot of value. Now, for those who wants to work with you or connect with you, where can they find you?
Well, probably the best thing to do is just put my name into Google. It's Andrew Johnson, and it's JOHNSON, and put that in, and you will find me on page 1 or page 2 in Google. Especially if you put in Andrew Johnson Relax or Andrew Johnson Sleep, you'll find me. I'm also on Andrew Johnson on Twitter. So yes, if you put my name into Google, you'll find me. I'm not the American president from the mid-1800s. I'm the other Andrew Johnson.
Incredible. Well, Andrew, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show, and we really appreciate you sharing your expert knowledge with our audience today.
Thank you, Yukai. The pleasure is all mine. I've been delighted to be part of this.
Incredible. There you have it. If you are a business owner and you are in a place where you have a lot of things going on and you find yourself not in the present, you could be leaving a lot of money on the table, or you could be making a lot of bad judgment because you're not in the now. There is a way out. Andrew Johnson is one man who has proven over 30 years now, helping individuals and business owners to get back into the now and begin to operate from their true, authentic self and begin to live life extraordinary. Now, with that said, have a great day, and I look forward to being with you on another episode here on your Kai Business Show. And if you want more information, click the link below and you'll be taken straight to Andrew Johnson's website, or you'll be taken to our website where you'll be able to leave a message on there. With that said, have a great day and wish you the best of all to come. Have a good day, Andrew. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yukai.
Okay, goodbye for now.
Thank you for listening to Yukai Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.yukaibusinessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.